Cosmic castaways. The vast emptiness of space stretched endlessly before the UES horizon, humanity's most advanced deep space exploration vessel. Captain Elena Rees stood on the bridge, her dark eyes fixed on the holographic display that mapped their journey through uncharted sectors of the galaxy. The mission: to find habitable worlds for Earth's ever-growing population. Status report, Commander Chen, Elena called out, her voice steady despite the weight of responsibility on her shoulders. Commander Lian Chen, the ship's XO and chief science officer, looked up from her console. All systems nominal, Captain. We're approaching the outer reaches of the Epsilon Eridani system. Initial scans show promise for the fourth planet. Elena nodded, a faint smile playing on her lips. After months of travel, they might finally have a lead. Excellent. Helm, set course for Epsilon Eridani IV. Let's get a closer look. As the horizon adjusted its trajectory, none of the crew could have anticipated the chain of events about to unfold. They were seasoned explorers, the best Earth had to offer, but the universe had a way of humbling even the most prepared. The ship suddenly lurched, throwing several crew members off balance. Red warning lights flashed across every console on the bridge. Report. Elena barked, gripping her chair as the ship shuddered violently. Lian's fingers flew across her console. Massive gravimetric disturbance, Captain. It's like nothing we've ever encountered. Our sensors didn't detect it until we were right on top of it. Evasive maneuvers. Elena ordered, but it was too late. The horizon was caught in an invisible net, pulled inexorably towards an anomaly that defied their understanding of physics. The ship's hull groaned under the immense stress, and sparks flew from overloading systems. Engineering, give me everything you've got, Elena shouted into the comm. Chief Engineer Zara Okafor's voice crackled back, strained and urgent. We're at 120% already, Captain. Any more and we'll blow the core. The anomaly grew larger on their view screen, a swirling vortex of energy that seemed to devour light itself. Elena knew they had only moments to act. All hands, brace for impact, initiate emergency protocols. The crew scrambled to secure vital systems and prepare for the worst. Elena caught Lian's eye, a silent understanding passing between them. Whatever happened next, they would face it together. With a final, mighty lurch, the horizon was swallowed by the anomaly. For a terrifying moment, the laws of physics seemed to break down entirely. The ship tumbled through a kaleidoscope of impossible colors and mind-bending geometries. Then, as suddenly as it began, it was over. The horizon burst from the other side of the anomaly, systems failing and hull integrity compromised. Through the view screen, a planet loomed large, blue-green and alive, but definitely not Epsilon Eridani IV. All stop, Elena commanded, her voice hoarse. Damage report. Lian's voice was grim as she rattled off the list of system failures. Hull breaches on decks 3 through 7, life support at 60% capacity, engines offline, and, Captain, our navigation system is completely fried. I have no idea where we are. Elena took a deep breath, centering herself. This was why she was in command, for moments like these. All right, people. We're still here, which means we still have a job to do. Zara, I need those engines back online. Lian, work with astrogation to figure out our location. The rest of you, start repairs and tend to the injured. As the crew sprang into action, Elena turned her attention to the mysterious planet below. It was their only option now, a potential refuge in a cosmos that had just become infinitely more dangerous and unknown. Helm, what's left of our maneuvering thrusters? She asked. Barely functional, Captain, came the response. We might be able to manage a controlled descent, but it'll be rough. Elena nodded grimly. Then that's what we'll do. Plot an approach vector to that landmass in the northern hemisphere. We're going in. The next hour was a symphony of alarms, shouted orders, and the groaning protest of the horizon's abused hull. Elena coordinated the efforts of her crew with the precision of a conductor, drawing on every ounce of their training and ingenuity. As they entered the planet's atmosphere, the ship shuddered and bucked. Fires broke out in multiple sections, and the air grew thick with smoke, but through it all, the crew of the Horizon persevered. With a bone-jarring impact, the ship plowed into the alien soil, carving a deep furrow across a vast, purple-leafed forest. When it finally came to rest, an eerie silence fell over the bridge. Elena coughed, waving away the acrid smoke. "Sound off. Is everyone all right?" One by one, her bridge crew responded. There were injuries, some serious, but they had survived. As the adrenaline began to fade, the reality of their situation set in. They were alive, but stranded on an unknown world, light years from any hope of rescue. Their ship, the pinnacle of human engineering, lay broken around them, and they had no idea what awaits them on this alien world. "All right," Elena said, her voice filled with determination. "Our mission hasn't changed. We came to explore new worlds, and that's exactly what we're going to do. Let's get ourselves sorted out and see what's out there." As the crew of the Horizon began to emerge from the wreckage, they were unaware of the eyes watching them from the depths of the alien forest. Their greatest challenge was just beginning, and the fate of humanity itself might rest on their shoulders. Little did they know, their arrival had not gone unnoticed. Deep in the heart of a vast, crystalline city hidden beneath the surface of the planet, beings of unimaginable power and incomprehensible motives stirred. The game was about to change, and humanity was the newest piece on the board. The alien sun cast an eerie, purple-tinged light across the crash site as Captain Elena Rees surveyed the damage. The UES Horizon, once humanity's pride, now lay as a twisted monument to their cosmic misfortune. But Elena knew that mourning their ship was a luxury they couldn't afford. Survival came first. "Zara, what's our status?" Elena called out to her chief engineer, who was elbow-deep in a tangle of wires and circuitry. Zara Okafor wiped sweat from her brow, leaving a smudge of grease. "It's not pretty, Captain. Life support's holding, but barely. We've got maybe a week before the systems give out completely. As for getting this bird flying again," she trailed off, shaking her head. Elena nodded grimly. "Understood. Focus on extending life support as long as possible. We need to buy time to figure out our next move." As if on cue, Commander Lian Chen approached, her usual calm demeanor tinged with excitement. "Captain, you need to see this," she said, holding out a portable scanner. "I've been analyzing the local flora and atmosphere. This planet, it's not just habitable, it's perfect for human life. Almost too perfect." Elena's eyebrows shot up. "Too perfect? What do you mean?" Lian pointed to the readouts. "The atmosphere is a near-exact match for Earth's. The plant life, while alien in appearance, seems to produce oxygen through a process remarkably similar to photosynthesis. It's as if the planet was designed for us," Elena finished, a chill running down her spine despite the warm alien air. Before they could discuss further, a shout came from the perimeter they'd established around the crash site. "Captain, we've got movement in the trees." Helena sprung into action, grabbing a pulse rifle from a nearby weapons locker. "All hands, defensive positions. Remember your training, people. We're not here to start a war, but we will defend ourselves if necessary." The crew scrambled to form a protective circle, weapons at the ready but not yet aimed. Elena's heart pounded in her chest as she strained her eyes, trying to catch a glimpse of whatever was approaching through the dense purple foliage. Suddenly, the alien forest parted, and Elena found herself face to face with something straight out of Earth's mythology. The beings that emerged were tall, easily 7 feet in height, with slender, graceful bodies that seemed to shimmer with an inner light. Their skin was a pale, luminescent blue, and their eyes, all 4 of them, glowed with an otherworldly intelligence. What struck Elena most, however, was their beauty. It was almost painful to look at them directly, as if they radiated an aura of perfection that the human mind struggled to comprehend. One of the aliens stepped forward, its movements fluid and precise. It raised a hand in what Elena hoped was a universal gesture of peace. "Lower your weapons," Elena ordered her crew, though she kept her own rifle at the ready. "Let's not give them any reason to think we're hostile." The alien spoke, its voice a melodious trill that seemed to bypass their ears and resonate directly in their minds. "Welcome, travelers from beyond. We are the Luminari, guardians of this world you have stumbled upon." Elena blinked in surprise. "You speak our language." The alien's 4 eyes blinked in an unsettling pattern. "We speak all languages, for language is but thought-given form. Your arrival was foreseen, though the manner of it was unexpected." Leon stepped forward, her scientific curiosity overriding her caution. "Foreseen? How is that possible? And how can this world be so perfectly suited to our biology?" The alien, the Luminari, tilted its head in a gesture that was eerily human. "All will be explained in time. For now, know that you are safe here. We have much to discuss, Captain Elena Reeves of Earth." Elena's grip tightened on her rifle. "How do you know my name?" The Luminari's lips curved into what might have been a smile. "We know many things, Elena Reeves. The question is, how much are you prepared to learn?" With a graceful gesture, the Luminari indicated a path leading deeper into the forest. "Come, our city awaits, hidden beneath the surface of this world. There, we'll answer your questions and pose some of our own." Elena exchanged glances with Lion and Zara. The invitation could be a trap, but it was also their best chance at survival and possibly their only way home. With a deep breath, she made her decision. "All right," Elena said, addressing both her crew and the Luminari. "We'll come with you. But understand this, we come in peace, but we will defend ourselves if threatened. We're explorers, not conquerors." The Luminari's expression remained inscrutable. "Of course, we would expect nothing less from beings of your potential." As Elena organized her crew for the journey, leaving a small contingent to guard the ship, she couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into something far bigger than a simple first contact scenario. The Luminari's words about their arrival being foreseen nagged to her. The journey through the alien forest was like walking through a dream. The purple-leafed trees seemed to whisper as they passed, and bioluminescent creatures flitted through the air, casting dancing shadows. Elena kept her guard up, but she couldn't help but be awed by the beauty of this world. After what seemed like hours, they arrived at a massive clearing. At its center stood a structure that defied description, a swirling vortex of energy contained within crystalline pillars that stretched impossibly high into the sky. "Welcome," the Luminari guide announced, "to the gateway. The heart of our civilization and the key to the cosmos itself." As Elena and her crew stood in stunned silence, the crystalline structure began to pulse with energy. The ground beneath their feet trembled, and Elena felt a sensation of movement, as if the entire clearing was descending. "Prepare yourselves, humans," the Luminari said, its voice taking on a tone of what might have been excitement or hunger. "You are about to see wonders beyond your wildest imaginings, and in return, you will provide us with something we have long sought." "And what's that?" Elena asked, a knot of apprehension forming in her stomach. The Luminari's 4 eyes fixed on her, seeming to peer into her very soul. "The key to your species' remarkable adaptability. The spark that allows you to thrive in the face of impossible odds. We have been watching your kind for a very long time, Elena Reeves. Now, at last, we'll unlock the secrets of humanity's greatest strength." As the alien city revealed itself, descending from the sky like a shimmering mirage, Elena realized that their true test was just beginning. The crash had been just the start of their journey. Now, they would have to navigate the treacherous waters of alien politics, technology beyond their comprehension, and the weight of representing their entire species. The fate of humanity, it seemed, rested on their shoulders, And the Luminari, for all their beauty and apparent benevolence, clearly had plans of their own. Plans that might not align with the best interests of Elena and her crew, or the human race as a whole. With a deep breath, Elena stepped forward into the alien city, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. She was a captain, an explorer, and above all, a human being. And if there was one thing humans excelled at, it was beating the odds. Little did she know, the greatest test of her life, and the true power of humanity's spirit, was about to begin. The alien city of the Luminari was a marvel that defied human comprehension. Towering spires of living crystal pulsed with energy, while gravity-defying bridges connected impossible structures that seemed to exist in more dimensions than the eye could perceive. Captain Elena Reeves and her crew walked through this wonderland with a mixture of awe and trepidation, acutely aware of their own primitiveness in comparison. Their Luminari guide, who had introduced itself as Zix, led them to a vast chamber at the heart of the city. The walls shimmered with holographic displays showing stars, planets, and cosmic phenomena that even Leon, with all her scientific knowledge, couldn't begin to understand. This, Zix announced, its melodious voice echoing in the cavernous space, is the nexus of convergence. It is here that the fate of species is decided. Elena exchanged worried glances with Zara and Leon. "What exactly do you mean by that?" she asked, her hand instinctively moving to her weapon. Before Zix could answer, a new figure materialized in the center of the chamber. This Luminari was different, taller, more radiant, with 6 eyes instead of 4. When it spoke, its voice resonated with power that made the human's bones vibrate. "I am Silos, overseer of the Luminari Collective," it declared. "Your arrival has set in motion events long foretold. Humanity stands at a crossroads, and you, Elena Reeves, will determine the path your species takes." Elena stepped forward, her jaw set with determination. "We didn't come here by choice, Overseer. We're explorers, yes, but we're also survivors of an accident. All we want is to repair our ship and return home." Silos' 6 eyes blinked in that unsettling pattern. "Ah, but there are no accidents in the grand tapestry of the cosmos, Elena Reeves. Your arrival here was inevitable, and now you face the ultimate test." The air in the chamber grew heavy, charged with an energy that made the hairs on the back of Elena's neck stand up. "Humanity has long been of interest to us," Silos continued. "Your adaptability, your resilience, your capacity for both great destruction and remarkable creation. These qualities make you unique among the species we have encountered. But potential alone is not enough. You must prove your worth." "Prove our worth," Zara interrupted, her engineer's pragmatism overriding protocol. "We've crossed light years, survived impossible odds. Isn't that proof enough?" Silos turned its penetrating gaze on Zara. "Survival is merely the first step, Zara Okafor. The true measure of a species lies in the choices they make when faced with impossible decisions." With a wave of its hand, Silos conjured a holographic display in the center of the chamber. It showed Earth, beautiful and blue, rotating peacefully in the void of space. "Your homeworld," Silos said, "teeters on the brink of multiple catastrophes. Climate change, overpopulation, dwindling resources. You sought new worlds to colonize as a solution. But what if we offered you an alternative?" The hologram changed, showing a devastated Earth, oceans risen, forests burned, cities in ruins. "This is one possible future for your world," Silos explained, "but we have the power to prevent it. We can give you technology to reverse the damage, to create a utopia for all of humanity." The hologram shifted again, showing a pristine Earth, with gleaming cities and restored natural wonders. Elena felt her heart race. The offer was tempting, salvation for their entire species. But years of command had taught her to be wary of anything that seemed too good to be true. "What's the catch?" she asked, her voice steady despite her inner turmoil. Silos' expression might have been a smile or a grimace. It was impossible to tell. "The catch, as you put it, is this. In exchange for saving your world, we require a sacrifice. 1/3 of Earth's population, chosen at random, would be harvested. Their neural energy would fuel our civilization for millennia, allowing us to continue our work as guardians of the galaxy. A shocked silence fell over the human crew. Elena felt as if the floor had dropped out from beneath her feet. "You're talking about killing billions of people," Lion said, her voice shaking with anger and disbelief. "Not killing," Xylos corrected, "transcending. Those chosen would become part of something greater, their consciousness merged with the cosmic consciousness that powers our civilization." Elena's mind raced. The offer was monstrous, unconscionable, and yet, could they afford to refuse? The fate of their entire species hung in the balance. "And if we refuse?" Elena asked, already knowing the answer wouldn't be good. Silas' eyes glowed brighter. "Then we will be forced to conclude that humanity is not yet ready to join the galactic community. Your memories of this encounter will be erased, and you will be returned to your crashed ship. Your world will be left to face its fate alone, quarantined from interstellar contact until you either overcome your challenges or perish." The ultimatum hung in the air like a physical weight. Elena looked at her crew, seeing the conflict and fear in their eyes. They had trained for first contact scenarios, for diplomatic negotiations, even for combat. But nothing had prepared them for this. "You have 6 of your Earth hours to decide," Silos declared. "Choose wisely, for the fate of your entire species rests upon your decision." With that, Silos vanished, leaving the humans alone in the vast chamber. The weight of an impossible choice pressed down on them, heavier than any gravity they had ever experienced. Elena took a deep breath, centering herself. She was a captain, trained to make difficult decisions. But this was beyond anything she had ever imagined. "All right, people," she said, her voice steady despite the turmoil in her heart. "We need to talk this through. The fate of humanity is in our hands, and we damn well better make the right choice." As the crew began to debate, their voices echoing in the alien chamber, Elena couldn't shake the feeling that this was more than just a test. The Luminari were playing a game beyond their understanding, and humanity was just a pawn on their cosmic chessboard. But if there was one thing Elena knew about humans, it was their ability to surprise. The Luminari had given them an impossible choice, but who was to say they couldn't find a third option? With determination in her eyes, Elena joined the discussion. They had 6 hours to save humanity, and she intended to use every second of it. The game wasn't over yet, and humanity wasn't about to go down without a fight. Ingenuity under pressure. The nexus of convergence hummed with tension as Captain Elena Reeves and her crew grappled with the Luminari's ultimatum. 5 hours had passed, and they were no closer to a solution that didn't involve either dooming Earth to a slow death or sacrificing billions of lives. "This is insane," Zara muttered, pacing the crystalline floor. "There has to be another way. We can't just choose who lives or dies on a planetary scale." Leanne, who had been quiet for the past hour, suddenly looked up from her datapad. "Wait a minute. What if we're approaching this all wrong?" All eyes turned to the science officer. Elena leaned forward, hope flickering in her eyes. "What are you thinking, Leanne?" "We've been so focused on the choice they've given us that we haven't questioned the premise," Lion explained, her words coming faster as her excitement grew. "But think about it. Why would a species as advanced as the Luminari need to harvest neural energy from other beings? It doesn't make sense from an efficiency standpoint." Elena's brow furrowed. "You think they're lying about needing the sacrifice?" "Not lying, necessarily," Lion said, "but maybe not telling us the whole truth. This feels like a test, doesn't it? They're pushing us to see how we'll react." Zara snapped her fingers, her eyes lighting up. "Like the Kobayashi Maru. It's a no-win scenario designed to test our character." A murmur of realization swept through the crew. Elena felt a surge of pride. This was humanity at its best, finding hope and solutions where none seemed to exist. "All right," Elena said, a plan beginning to form in her mind. If this is a test, then we need to change the rules of the game. Leon, what do we know about the Luminaries' technology? Leon pulled up her observations on a holographic display. It's incredibly advanced, but there are some consistencies with our own tech, just on a grander scale. They seem to use some form of quantum entanglement for communication and energy transfer. And their biology? Elena pressed. Fascinating, actually, Lion replied. Their cellular structure is unlike anything I've seen. It's almost as if... Wait, her eyes widened. Captain, I think I know what they really want from us. As Lion explained her theory, a daring plan began to take shape. It was risky, borderline insane, but it just might work. For the next hour, the crew worked feverishly, each contributing their expertise to refine the plan. Just as they finished preparations, silos materialized in the chamber. Your time is up, humans. What is your decision? Elena stepped forward, her posture radiating confidence she didn't entirely feel. We reject your ultimatum, Overseer, but we offer an alternative that will benefit both our species. Silos' six eyes blinked in surprise, the first genuine emotion they had seen from the alien. Explain. Your civilization is stagnating, Elena declared boldly. You have all this power, all this knowledge, but you've reached a plateau. That's why you're so interested in humanity, isn't it? Not for our neural energy, but for our adaptability, our drive to innovate. She gestured to her crew. In just a few hours, we've done what you thought impossible, found a third option to your ultimatum. Imagine what humanity could accomplish if we worked together as equals, rather than as harvester and harvested. Silos was silent for a long moment. When it spoke, there was a new note in its voice, respect. You are not incorrect, Elena Reeves. But words alone are not enough. How do you propose to demonstrate this potential you speak of? This was the moment of truth. Elena nodded to Zara, who stepped forward with a device cobbled together from parts of their crashed ship and bits of luminary tech they had managed to scavenge. This, Zara announced, is a prototype of a neural interface that bridges human and luminary biology. It will allow for a true exchange of knowledge and experience without the need for harvesting. Leon joined them, adding, We've also theorized a way to amplify the energy output of your quantum singularity cores by introducing controlled chaos, a specialty of human physics. With this, you could power your civilization for eons without needing to harvest any species. Silos studied the device and the schematics Leon presented. For a tense moment, the chamber was utterly silent. Then, to everyone's shock, Silos began to emit a sound that could only be described as laughter. Remarkable, the Overseer said, its voice filled with genuine amusement. In mere hours, you have grasped concepts that took our scientists millennia to develop, and you've combined them in ways we never considered. The air in the chamber shifted, the oppressive weight of the ultimatum lifting. Silos' form seemed to shimmer, becoming somehow more real, more present. You were correct, Elena Reeves. This was indeed a test, one that your species has passed beyond our wildest expectations. We have watched humanity for eons, seeing your potential, but also fearing your capacity for destruction. We needed to know if you could rise above base instincts when faced with an impossible choice. Elena felt a mix of relief and lingering anger. So there was never any real threat to Earth. The threat to your world is real, Silos corrected, but it is not ours to solve or to worsen. Your future is your own to shape. What we offer now is not salvation, but partnership. Your ingenuity combined with our knowledge could unlock wonders beyond imagining. As the implications of this sank in, Elena felt a swell of emotion, pride in her crew, hope for the future, and a burning curiosity about what this partnership could mean. So, she said, extending her hand in a very human gesture, shall we begin? Silos regarded her hand for a moment, then extended its own in a perfect mimicry of the motion. As human and luminary clasped hands, a spark of energy passed between them, the first true connection between their species. Indeed, Elena Reeves, Silos said, Let us shape the future of the cosmos together. As the chamber erupted in cheers and exclamations of relief, Elena allowed herself a small smile. They had done it, faced an impossible challenge, and emerged victorious. And in doing so, they had opened a door to a future brighter than any they could have imagined. But even as hope bloomed, a small part of Elena remained cautious. The Luminary had proven unpredictable, and this new partnership would undoubtedly bring challenges of its own. Humanity's greatest test, she suspected, was just beginning. With squared shoulders and determination in her eyes, Elena prepared to lead her crew, and by extension humanity, into a new era of cosmic exploration and collaboration. The stars, it seemed, were no longer the limit. The honeymoon period of the human-luminary partnership was short-lived. As weeks passed in the alien city, the initial euphoria of scientific exchange gave way to a growing undercurrent of tension. Captain Elena Rees found herself navigating increasingly treacherous waters, both diplomatically and technologically. In a vast laboratory that seemed to defy the laws of physics, Elena watched as Zara and a team of luminary scientists worked on their latest joint project, a revolutionary propulsion system that could potentially allow for instantaneous travel across the galaxy. "The power output is still unstable," Zara muttered, her brow furrowed in concentration. "If we can't regulate the quantum flux, we risk tearing a hole in space-time itself." A luminary scientist, Vix, chimed in. "Perhaps if we applied the principles of your chaos theory to our containment fields." As the two species collaborated, Elena couldn't help but notice the subtle power plays at work. The Luminary, for all their advanced technology, seemed both fascinated and frustrated by the humans' intuitive leaps of logic. Meanwhile, her crew was struggling to adapt to the aliens' rigid, almost prescriptive approach to innovation. Lion approached, her face a mask of concern. "Captain, we need to talk," she said in a low voice. "I've been analyzing the data we've gathered on luminary biology, and something doesn't add up." Elena nodded, leading them to a quiet corner of the lab. "What have you found?" "Their cellular structure," Lion explained, pulling up a holographic display. "It's not just advanced, it's artificially engineered. And from what I can tell, it's degrading. Slowly, but unmistakably." Elena's mind raced. "Are you saying the Luminary are dying?" "Not just dying," Lion corrected. "I think they're unraveling, as if the very fabric of their being is coming apart at the seams, and I have a theory about why they're so interested in human adaptability." Before Lion could elaborate, an alarm blared through the laboratory. Sios materialized in the center of the room, its usually serene features marred by what looked like concern. "We have a situation," the overseer announced. "Our long-range sensors have detected an anomaly approaching the planet. It appears to be a tear in the fabric of space-time." Zara's head snapped up. "That's impossible. Our experiments were contained. Unless someone sabotaged them," Elena finished, her hand instinctively moving to her weapon. Sios' six eyes blinked rapidly. "Accusations are premature, Captain Reeves. We must focus on addressing this threat before it reaches our world." As if on cue, the ground beneath them shuddered. The holographic displays flickered, showing a massive distortion in space approaching the planet at impossible speed. "All personnel to battle stations," Silas commanded, its voice resonating through the city. "Activate planetary shields. Prepare for possible evacuation." Elena turned to her crew. "Zara, work with the Luminary to stabilize that rift. Lian, I need you to dig deeper into your findings. If the Luminary are hiding something, we need to know what and why." As the crew sprang into action, Elena felt a familiar rush of adrenaline. This was what humans did best, rising to the occasion in the face of impossible odds. The next few hours were a blur of frantic activity. Zara and the Luminary scientists worked tirelessly to develop a way to close the rift, while Lion delved deeper into the mysteries of luminary biology. Elena coordinated with Stios, organizing defense plans and evacuation protocols. But as the rift drew nearer, it became clear that their efforts were not enough. The tear in space-time was growing, threatening to swallow not just the planet, but the entire star system. In a moment of quiet amidst the chaos, Leon pulled Elena aside. "Captain, I've confirmed my theory. The Luminari, they're not a naturally evolved species. They're artificial constructs created by some long-lost civilization, and they're breaking down on a fundamental level." Elena's mind reeled. "Are you saying they brought us here to, what, fix them?" Leon nodded grimly. "I think so. Their rigid thinking, their obsession with order, it's all a symptom of their degradation. They need our adaptability, our creativity to survive. But I don't think even they fully understood the extent of their own decline." Before Elena could respond, Silas approached. The overseer's usual glow had dimmed, its movements less fluid than before. "Captain Rees," Silas said, its voice strained. I owe you an apology. We have not been entirely truthful about our nature or our intentions." Elena met the alien's gaze steadily. "I know, Xylos, but right now we have bigger problems. That rift is going to tear this planet apart if we don't stop it." Silos nodded, a very human gesture that looked odd on its alien features. "You are correct, and I fear our technology alone is not enough to stop it. We need a human solution." As if in response to Silos' words, Zora burst into the room, her eyes wild with excitement. "Captain, I think I've got it. But it's crazy, probably suicidal." "Those are my favorite kinds of plans," Elena said with a grim smile. "Let's hear it." Zora quickly outlined her idea, a daring plan that involved using the Luminaries' quantum technology in conjunction with human chaos theory to collapse the rift from within. But it would require someone to pilot a ship directly into the tear in space-time. "I'll do it," Elena said without hesitation. "Captain, no," Zora protested. "The chances of survival are irrelevant." Elena cut her off. "This is what we do, Zara. We take the impossible and make it possible. Besides, someone needs to stay behind to make sure this partnership stays on track." She glanced meaningfully at Leon. As Elena prepared for her mission, donning a suit of luminary tech merged with human ingenuity, she felt a strange calm settled over her. This was what she had trained for, what humanity had always done, pushing the boundaries of the possible, venturing into the unknown. Silos approached as she was about to board the ship. "Elena Rees," it said, its voice filled with a new emotion, respect, tinged with something like awe. "You and your crew have shown us something we had forgotten, the power of choice, of sacrifice for a greater good. Whatever happens, know that you have changed us irrevocably." Elena nodded, her expression determined. "That's what humans do, Xylos. We change things. Now, let's go save a world." As her ship launched towards the roiling tail in space-time, Elena felt the weight of two civilizations on her shoulders. But she also felt the strength of the human spirit, adaptable, resilient, and above all, determined to forge its own destiny among the stars. The rift loomed before her, a maw of swirling energy that seemed to devour light itself. With a deep breath, Elena pushed the ship to full power, plunging into the heart of the anomaly. As reality walked around her, she focused on one thought: this is not the end, it's just the beginning. And with that, Captain Elena Rees, representative of humanity, vanished into the rift, carrying with her the hopes of two civilizations and the indomitable spirit of the human race. The universe held its breath as Captain Elena Rees' ship plunged into the heart of the space-time rift. On the Luminary homeworld, humans and aliens alike watched in tense silence, the fate of two civilizations hanging in the balance. Inside the rift, Elena experienced a reality beyond comprehension. Time and space twisted around her, memories and possible futures flashing before her eyes. The ship's systems screamed in protest as they were pushed far beyond their limits. "Come on," Elena muttered through gritted teeth, her hands dancing over the controls. "Just a little further." As she neared the center of the anomaly, Elena activated Zara's device, a fusion of human chaos theory and luminary quantum technology. The effect was immediate and spectacular. The rift began to collapse in on itself, reality knitting back together in its wake. But the forces at play were too powerful. Elena's ship began to break apart, alarms blaring as systems failed one by one. In that moment, facing certain death, Elena Rees did something quintessentially human. She laughed. "Well," she said to the uncaring void, "at least we gave it one hell of a shot." Just as all seemed lost, a burst of energy engulfed the ship. Elena felt a sensation of movement, of being unmade and remade in an instant. Then suddenly, she was back in normal space, her battered ship floating above the luminary homeworld. On the planet's surface, shears erupted. The rift was gone, collapsed in on itself without a trace. Humanity had done the impossible once again. As Elena's ship was guided back to the surface by tractor beams, she saw the world through new eyes. The experience within the rift had changed her, granting insights beyond normal human perception. When she stepped out of her ship, she was greeted by a sight she never expected: luminary and humans standing side by side, united in celebration. Zara rushed forward, enveloping her captain in a fierce hug. "You did it," Zara exclaimed, tears in her eyes. "We thought we'd lost you." Elena smiled, still processing her experience. "For a moment there, I thought you had, but it seems the universe wasn't quite done with me yet." Silos approached, its form shimmering with renewed energy. "Captain Rees," it said, its voice filled with genuine emotion, "you've saved not just our world, but perhaps the entire galaxy. We are in your debt." Elena shook her head. "No debts, Silos. This is what partnership means, facing challenges together, each contributing their strengths." Leon stepped forward, her eyes alight with scientific curiosity. "Captain, the readings we got from your ship, they're unlike anything we've ever seen. The insights into space-time, into the very fabric of reality." "I know," Elena said softly. "I saw everything. The past, possible futures, the interconnectedness of all things. And I think I understand now why the Luminari needed us and what we can achieve together." Over the next few hours, as the celebration continued around them, Elena shared her insights with both her crew and the Luminari leadership. The rift, it turned out, had been a blessing in disguise. The extreme conditions had acted as a catalyst, merging human adaptability with luminary technology in ways no one could have predicted. "Your cellular structure," Elena explained to a rapt audience, "it's not breaking down, it's evolving." The rigidity, the obsession with order, it was a chrysalis stage. Our human chaos, our adaptability, was the key to unlocking your next phase of existence. Silo's eyes glowed with understanding. "And in helping us, you have elevated yourselves. The knowledge you've gained, the advancements we can make together. We stand at the dawn of a new era," Elena agreed. "Not just for our species, but for all life in the galaxy." As the implications sank in, a sense of wonder and possibility swept through the gathered crowd. Humans and Luminari alike began to discuss ideas, theories, and dreams for the future, a future they would shape together. In the days that followed, preparations began for a joint mission back to Earth. The UES Horizon was repaired and enhanced with luminary technology, ready to carry a delegation of both species across the stars. As they made ready to depart, Elena stood with her crew, looking out over the alien world that had become a second home. "You know," Zara said, a hint of mischief in her voice, "when we left Earth, I don't think any of us expected to be coming back with alien allies and the key to unlocking the secrets of the universe." Leon chuckled. "Just another day at the office for humanity, right? Doing the impossible before breakfast." Elena smiled, feeling the weight of responsibility and the thrill of possibility in equal measure. "That's who we are," she said softly. "Explorers, dreamers, problem solvers. We face the unknown not with fear, but with curiosity and determination." As they boarded the ship, Ready to begin the journey home, Elena took one last look at the luminary world. She thought of all they had been through, the crash, the ultimatum, the battles both physical and philosophical. Each challenge had seemed insurmountable, yet they had overcome them all. That's the true triumph of the human spirit, she mused. Not that we never fall, that we always find a way to rise again, to push further, to reach higher. With a command from Elena, the UES horizon lifted off, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of two civilizations. As they accelerated towards the stars, Helena felt a sense of pride and purpose unlike anything she had ever known. The journey that had begun with a cosmic accident had led to the dawn of a new age. Humanity had proven itself not just to the luminary, but to the galaxy at large. They were no longer just a young species taking its first steps into the cosmic community. They were pioneers, partners, and problem-solvers on a galactic scale. As the horizon jumped to faster-than-light speed, Elena Reeves smiled. The greatest adventure of all, she knew, was just beginning. And humanity, with its unyielding spirit and boundless creativity, was ready to meet it head-on. The stars beckoned, full of challenges and wonders beyond imagination, and humanity, hand in hand with their new luminary allies, was ready to answer the call.